Welcome back. Welcome back. We're here at episode 2 of Mastermind Wisdom for Winners, where the Mastermind Wisdom for Winners is where the knowledge isn't just shared, it's activated. Each episode it gives you insight and challenges on how you think, pushes how you grow, and sharpens how you move through life. So if you're ready to get started with Mastermind Wisdom today, and our special guest, Mr. Rickey Donato, we bring him back in and thanking it and loving it and loving it and loving it. So we got a lot of energy going, and we talked a little bit about it on episode 1, your background, your influences, your education. And then we moved into another transition that you told me as you moved through high school, you lost your father, the artist, the person that had influence on you, and became responsible for quite a bit. A lot fell on your shoulder.
Right. There was 6 of us in the family, and I was the oldest boy.
Okay. So that made a big difference in how you move through life. Well, clearly your father left and instilled in you something that's made you responsible for feeling that way, because not every young man, even in his adolescence or growing up, thinks that it's now it's his turn to be the man of the house or even change into being responsible. And unfortunately, in this day and age, children wouldn't even think like that. They still want to live their adolescent childhood life. Mm-hmm. So one of the things you mentioned was working at the Washington.
Right.
And how long did you do that?
Well, all the way through school. In fact, I used to work at Love's Drugstore on Liberty Road after I left the Washington.
That was
from 10 to 12 at
That
night.
was a second job.
That was my second job.
Oh my God, Rickey, you was doing a lot as a young man. And what age you think you were about that time when you would?
Well, 8th grade. You think about it. 8th grade, 9th grade, 10th grade. I mean, I'm still at the Washington.
Right.
But in the summertime, I work at a lumber company, riding forklifts and moving
things around.
Just doing all
kinds. You were doing it all.
Conveyor belt, messing with wood, put it on the pallet.
Wow.
And all this I'm doing by myself now. It's not a teamwork.
You've been working and hustling for a long, long time, brother.
I had to even lie about my age just to get the job, because you had to be 15 years old to work there. I was 14.
You told it, and the man believed you?
Birth certificate, I had to mess with it a little bit. That was another skill.
Oh, man, that's awesome. That's awesome.
So,
well, that's great, man, that you ended up doing all of that and was able to succeed and excel, because you don't find very many people working as hard as you were working and doing what you were doing. And you mentioned earlier, we talked about it, when you reached age 20, you said a lot happened in your life at that age from transitioning out of there. So what was the...
Well, when I was 20, I met a friend. His name was Mac M. Merritt. Now, mind you, I don't have a father. Right. So he was my father figure.
Well, we want to do this, and I want to stop and give kudos to Mac. What's his name?
Mac M. Merritt.
Mac M. Merritt?
Right.
Mr. Mac, we want to thank you for being the kind of person that at least instill in young men's lives. So thank you for that. All right, go ahead.
Yeah, so he was a deacon, a preacher.
Wow.
He was a counselor, a teacher. He had all of these attributes.
Yeah.
He loved to party, have a good time. He'd go to places. He knew how to work people to pull out their credit card to pay for certain things. Every event he had a way to set it up and everything.
Right.
So he was a mastermind, if you want to put it another way.
Okay, good.
So we ended up being friends for like 30 years.
Wow.
And he got me into real estate because he was into real estate too. This man was into everything. I did an album cover for him. He was impressed with me, and I was impressed with him.
Okay.
He saw my skills. He passed by.
Potentials.
Right.
Yeah,
he passed by my house, and I have the garage. My garage was the studio. So late at night, I'm painting and drawing and making a lot of things, a lot of work. He happened to pass by, and we've been friends ever since.
Just stopped in.
He never, but he was that kind of guy that if he sees somebody that had some kind of skill or talent, he gravitates to them.
Wow.
And help them out. But we was helping each other out because what he didn't have working for him, I had and what he had.
Y'all was a yin and yang.
We was exchanging
y'all
ideas.
Was, man, y'all was awesome.
He the one. I got a chance to go to Las Vegas, go to different places and everything that I never thought I would have that opportunity. But he always said, "Let's do it," and he was a go-getter. He the kind of guy that ride his Cadillac all over the neighborhood, and the tank is reading E. And
how'd y'all get along with that? Oh my God!
I just say,
tell me a story. Share me a story about the E. What happened?
He can ride that Cadillac. You know, it take gas to put in. He don't worry about it. He said the Lord gonna handle it.
My God!
I said, Mac, you done took everybody's prayer just to take care of you.
Right.
But he makes things work.
Wow.
He the one helped me with the real estate because he went to an auction.
Okay.
And he said, man, they have some property over here and they want to sell it. And the first bid was $15,000. I said, man, play with the $15,000. I want the property. And he called me back and say, because he said, man, you got to go higher up. Mm-hmm. I didn't have that kind of money. I just started working.
Right.
And this is I already have the house through him, the first home.
The first home.
And I didn't have a job when I got that job. Wow. I mean, that's what I'm saying. I'm doing a lot.
Through his mentorship and,
right.
Taking to him.
So I had my first house. He's telling me about another house. I said, get that other house. And that's after I got married. So he got it, and he called me back and said, man, you got the house for $15,000. Fantastic.
You got it.
Oh,
wow.
Man,
his dad was he was an entrepreneur.
I said, wow. But
a lot of talent.
After I went and checked the house out, there was another house in the back of it. And he said, man, that's yours too. I said, what? I got 2 for 1. And that's when the property went down. I mean, at that time, real estate was crazy because I remember when I was a kid, you can buy a house for $4,000, but you didn't make that kind of money to buy it.
Yeah, exactly.
People had to borrow money or get credit at a store just to even buy groceries at that time.
Yeah, exactly. It was tough times.
Because I didn't know some people were making $50 a week because that's what I was making at this job. Mm-hmm. And it was a regular job. And I just couldn't see how people going to survive off that kind of money at that time. Just regular laborers. So I had to do a lot of things.
Right.
So
whatever happened to Mac? What?
Well, eventually he bought a lot of stuff and everything, but he was a lot older than I was. I mean, so
time.
Yeah, time took him away,
right.
And I lost a friend.
Wow. Well, you lost as you say, a mentor, father figure, more than just a friend. He was
all that.
Yeah, and that's great. That's great that the parent poured into you what most men here in America really should be pouring into most men, and recognizing what we need as a brotherhood, and that's fantastic. So after the transition of all the work that you were doing, apparently you went into school and you went to college. Under some great. Let's talk about that college transition, that college life. What got you interested in going into college?
Well, this would happen. My girlfriend, now she's my wife.
Shout out to, and we want to shout out to your wife, and that is Mrs.
Linda Donato.
Miss Linda Donato. We want to thank you for allowing us to have the opportunity to have him with us today. So we want a good shout out to her. Thank you. So you met your wife.
So she decided to go to a university, but she wanted to go to University of Prairie View with her sisters. And I said, oh, no, you don't need to go. Because if you're going to be the future of my future, I don't want you to be the future of theirs, too, because it's just the two of us.
Exactly.
So I said, go to U of H. That way you get a job like that. She said, no, you get a job like that.
Yeah, coming out of U of H, the alumni system.
Right, yeah. So she did. She finished it. Everything was great. And we got the job and everything. So I was able to get the first house. And now I'm going to deal with the second one. Like I said, the other properties on there, everything was working fine. All this stuff, in fact, I even paid for it in my early 40s, we got that out the way. So all this time, I was active in school. Now I'm at TSU going to school.
What got you into TSU? Why TSU?
Well, It's because of Dr. Biggers. I heard she was a great influence over there at the school and with the students. So I knew I can draw pretty well, but I just didn't know how good I was. So
Okay.
by me going to the university, and then you look at the movie Different World and all these other stuff, and
All
they were
the other
showing how
influences, how
at
college
that
life
time,
was
yeah,
the big thing.
Yeah, it looks like that's the place to go.
Did you know about Dr. Biggers and his work prior to going to the college? Did you, because we're talking about Biggers of the renowned artist, world-renowned artist, black artist from TSU. You know, we're talking about a well-known, yeah.
So I've heard about him, but I heard more about him when he did his lectures.
Okay.
When I started school, and I realized how much skill he had. And I said, boy, if I can get all of this and put this in one, I could be pretty incredible. I could have shows and so I started thinking about all kind of stuff. But once I started at university, I was able to communicate with the students and help them out with their work because we had a lot of deadlines to meet.
Yeah, okay.
And they try to finish the project so they can have enough work for their show.
Right.
So I'm up there working with them and doing mines
and yours too.
Man,
you've been a multitasker all your life.
It was
all your life. So
I think that's the fun part about it.
Trying to balance it out.
Right.
Well, it'll kill most people right now if they're overdo and over multitask. But you were able to do it with a little bit of a balance and seem like with ease to a certain degree.
Well, I feel like anytime I touch a person, that's a part of a family now.
Okay.
And when you're friends, I believe being friends for life, not for a few days and stuff like that. And I knew they needed help. So they all, in fact, even the teacher, Mr. Vital, his name was Vital, but he wanted us to call him Vital. He was the art teacher. And he said, man, get with Mr. Donata. He can tell you how to do this and that. And I didn't have no problem with it because I like their work. It's just that some of the stuff need a push. It needs something that they didn't have.
Well, a third eye, or we call an extra two eyes, is better than just the first two you have. So yeah, vision and giving insight is big help.
So everybody came to me when it came to that kind of stuff.
Well, it seemed like to me, in a indirect sense or a subconscious sense, you were doing what your mentor did to you. He turned around and helped, and because he helped you.
Right. And I feel like
you felt like you helped everybody else. So that's great, man. You carried on. That's how we carry on legacies. Legacies is left by someone establishing, and then you carrying on. And based on what I hear you say, helping the other students in the classroom meet deadlines, and you doing your own deadlines. You develop your own legacy, the Rickey Donato legacy. And that's great. That's great, because I'm sure a lot of those artists appreciated and remembered how you helped them and came along. I know anytime I had help, hey, I think that's why I always want to stop and give kudos to those that have influenced my life and yours and anyone else that comes on this show. So again, thank you for what you did do and recognizing that help makes a difference. So going through TSU, you were doing the work and everything. You were living up to your expectations for as your paintings and things. And this is just one of them. We want to talk about a few of those paintings in our last episode, because our audience is very interested when we talk about the legacies and history and our abilities of exactly the kind of work that you are capable of doing and what you're doing now. So we want to discuss that and everything. So coming out of TSU, you started back painting and working, and I know you got other paintings of. You did a painting of the mayor. Who was that about?
It was Kathy Whitmire. I had a plan, and my plan was to do every mayor that come up from Kathy till now. But working all these different jobs kind of put that aside to some degree. But I did get a chance to do one other mayor, and it was Mayor Lee Brown.
Wow. The historical Lee Brown.
Right.
Okay.
So I've done a portrait of Lee Brown later on, but Kathy Whitmire is the one I did in pastels. Okay. And it turned out great. After walking there and set the stuff up and everything, and I was waiting for her. And when she saw me setting everything up, she said, "Who are you?" I said, "I'm the artist." She said, "You the artist, but you setting all this stuff up. You should be." I thought you was the guy just setting the thing up for
coming in. Yeah,
So it shocked her that I was the artist, but she was very impressed with the painting, and I was too. And that's when I started working on pastels. I realized pastels was a media for me, and I saw a guy at a mall was doing portraits with pastels,
right?
And that's what put me to that point.
Got you into moving in that
And I
direction.
said, man, I have to do this. I see what I stay there like 6 to 8 hours a day sometimes.
Watching him.
Just watching what he's doing, how is he doing.
You did the work. You did
what
the
the material he used. And now that's part of me. Anytime I see something, I observe and check everything out. Look at your pros and cons, which way, why, where, how'd you get it, what kind of demeanor you have.
Right.
Because if you didn't have the right kind of, you won't give me the information anyway.
I love it. I love it. So you did all that to get a pastel to get that, and she received that very, very well.
It looked good. And then I started doing Don King and his stable. I mean, we talking about when the stable. I didn't know all these boxers was his people.
Right.
So he's getting paid twice.
Businessman over and over again.
I said,
the story hadn't been quite told about Don King, but again, you doing the research and doing all his boxes and everything, that's great, the fact that you was able to even take that time. But then what I also hear you say is you do the research.
I have to research everything I touch, so I can get a better feel for it. If not, the picture will be lifeless. One guy said, man, when you do a portrait, you paint their souls in the portrait. And I said, what? I never looked at it that way. I'm just painting a picture. Yeah. But he said, man, you pull out their soul. And that's great. I tell everybody else that. I had a guy.
That's great. That's a true artist. Yeah, when you can find the essence. It's one thing painting a picture of someone. Photographs can take pictures.
Right.
But when you paint and you paint the soul and people looking at it, you can look deep into that.
Right.
That's true articism, and for lack of better words, and that's something I've seen. You can see it in the picture that we're looking at now. We're going to share on our episode 3 a few more of his pieces of work. He's bought some of his work with him so we can look at it through photographs and pictures so that it'll be something that you want to stay tuned for at our episode 3 to see the work of the great Rickey Donardo.
Can I say one thing,
please,
though?
Sure. Go ahead.
I couldn't have done none of this here, now, before, or ever without the help of God.
Excellent.
Because before I start any project, I had to pray first.
Wow.
Because I wasn't sure if I was going to do it right.
That's powerful.
So prayer is so important.
To start on anything, including...
Anything you do. In fact, you should be asking him, should I, could I, would I?
Right.
Not just go ahead and say, I'm going to do this. No. You need and that's part of a plan.
Yes. He gives you that vision for the plan.
That's your choice to figure out which way to go and pick all these pathways. People talk about pathways, but they don't realize you have to follow a real pathway to get where you need to go. You need to go through it, not over it or around.
Absolutely.
Walk right through it.
Spiritually, physically, mentally, all of it. Well, Rickey, that comes back in full circle because you started out with the first school you went to was Mother Mercy, which was, that's a Catholic school, and if they don't do nothing there, they teach you biblical principles to get started in. So
I was so heavy on Mother Mercy that I almost thought about being an altar boy.
It always come to full fruition.
Or a priest.
Priest Richard Donato. That's awesome. I love it.
Because you have your own house, you have your own this and your own that. You don't have to worry about nothing because God take care of the rest.
I love it. So with that in mind, we're going to end up our episode 2. We're going to bring you back with the work of the great Rickey Donardo. We appreciate you, man. That's awesome. I love it. God first.